I've calmed down a bit now. I've not long been in from work, and boy, I was getting wound up today. Is it just me, or does anyone else feel that there are tensions just rising among the local population? Now, I know there's been videos done on this recently, and over the last few years and over the last several months. And I did a video a little while ago about people in general, but just finding, as a prepper, quite often we'll be searching the news, looking at news articles that will be relevant to the prepping community, stuff that we can report on, stuff that we can prepare for if we feel it's going to get worse, if it indicates something might get worse and might affect our personal lives. And as a creator on YouTube, you're also looking for content to inform your community about. And in doing that, unfortunately, which is part of the course really, it kind of goes with the job, you tend to come across a lot of negative news, because no news is good news, as they say. So you come across a lot of negative stuff. They only report the real bad stuff, and that can look pretty bad and make society as a whole look pretty awful. What with all the violence and death and destruction in the world as it is. But just experiencing people on a daily basis it feels like it's changing. I had multiple occasions today where I was driving around or even standing around in the supermarket. I could hear people shouting at each other. There was people blocking each other, not letting each other go, no courtesy on the roads, people shouting abuse out of their windows, waving their fists at each other, literally. All of this in one day today, and I see it on a daily basis. A guy came into the supermarket while I was waiting for delivery and threw a pumpkin at the security guard. I don't know what the circumstances were, maybe the security guard wound him up, whatever, but I've never seen that sort of stuff before. And this looked like a well-to-do guy. It didn't look like, a chav or some. I probably shouldn't use that phrase, but what's the PC phrase for chav? I don't know. But it didn't look like someone who was going to cause trouble. It just looked like a general, ordinary person that you might pass every day on the street. But yeah, threw this full-size pumpkin at this security guard. He got out of the way, and it just kind of splattered on the floor by the entrance, and then he just walked out, and that was kind of it really. There was nothing, no police called or anything like that. No one was injured. It didn't lead to a fight, but you can just feel this underlying kind of tension, and people were just carrying on with their shopping as well, like it was completely normal. And that's, I remember back in the day, I know us oldies are constantly harping on about the 60s, 70s and 80s, how it was the greatest time to live. And I'll stand by that. Because back then, if you were in a supermarket and someone was to, do that with a security guard, well, for a start, you wouldn't have two security guards in Sainsbury's. In fact, back in the 70s, we didn't even have supermarkets. We just had local shops. But that's a different matter. But yeah, if somebody threw a pumpkin at her and started shouting and screaming, everyone would stop and they'd probably crowd around and and want to see what's going on, or maybe even muscle in and just check if he was okay. But none of that happened at all. People just carried on shopping like it was the most normal thing in the world. And I just wondered, is it me? I don't think it is me, because I think other people have noticed this, and other people have done videos on this as well. But I just came in from a day to day where it just seemed rife all day long. I know what could cause it. I know we've got the US election coming up, which I think is the first, isn't it? So a couple of weeks away. It's not very long. And there's lots of tension in the States about that. That might be spilling over to this. I don't know. You've got also a knock-on effect. There's news that I keep seeing about people taking their own lives. I've said that quickly to try and not get flagged up, but it seems like the taboo has got even worse. Like, no one will talk about it. So you've got all this stuff about a particular ex-band member in the news right now. I'm not going to mention names because that'll probably get flagged up. I don't know why. But what on earth is going on? You've got the news report, and then on there's tons. The whole news is just full of this guy. Who's now no longer here after an incident in Argentina. So hopefully you'll know who I'm talking about. And every single news article, and there are tons. They've got even whole sections on the BBC and on Sky and stuff. And then right at the bottom, it talks about the Samaritans. If this has affected you, phone the Samaritans. So we all know what's happened, but there is no mention of it whatsoever. None, nothing. It's just like brushed off, like it doesn't exist, like it's just not a thing. And I find that really odd, especially since all the lockdowns and stuff like that. And we know what's happened to the rate of that happening to people since then. We know it's absolutely skyrocketed. And it made me think as well of some comments I've had, where I've been out and about recently camping, and I've been a bit paranoid and stuff. And I've been a worrier and more paranoid than most probably since a catastrophic major event that happened in my life in my early 20s, which I'm not going to talk about on here. But ever since then, I've been wary of people. I've been a bit of a worrier and everything else. And I'm trying to come to terms with that, and have done over the years. But and it's taken a long time. I've had people say that I've got PTSD. Some YouTuber thinking that he's obviously a counsellor now, and runs his own channel about camping, and then decided to slag my channel off and slag me off. It's just, what's wrong with people? But then also you had all the COVID stuff. Now, I made my choices at the time, and then you had people like Esther Ranson coming out saying, no, you can't have bodily autonomy. We want to round you up like Jews and put you into a pen away from society and make sure that you stay away from all of us. And now she's crying about having bodily autonomy. It's one rule for one for, it's double standards. It's despicable, and I hate her for that. But yeah, so you've got these pious people who were coming out with just such violent vitriol over the last few years, and then expect everyone to just brush it off as if nothing happened. And I'm wondering if this is all a knock-on effect from what happened over the last few years. And I know I'm not the only one, and I'll probably lose people on my channel for daring to bring this up again. But I'm fed up with just not talking about it. And it's almost like nobody can talk about it. And now they're trying to shut the pubs down, and they don't want people to talk. They don't want people to talk per se. And it's just the world is changing very fast and going in a direction that I really don't like. I know I'm not the only one, but not everyone is willing to say anything about it. When you talk to people in the street, they brush it off. But with people literally at each other's throats, and chucking pumpkins at each other, on a daily basis. Not that I see that every day, but that would be funny. But yeah, it's just weird. I mean, let me know what you think in the comments. I can just see things escalating. Where does it end? Like we're on a cliff edge, and it's gonna, we're all gonna, there's a tipping point, and yeah, what happens when it tips? I know we had Elon Musk saying things like, Europe's close to, the Big C civil war, which you can't say apparently either. You can't put that in a search engine or in a discussion box without getting flagged up, because it's one of those no words. But it's happening, and it's not happening. But it's he was, were they trying to sue him for it or something like that? It's bonkers, and I think he's an intelligent guy, and for him to say that, it's a bit of a worry. So yeah, could it descend into that? I don't know. I really don't. I know that there's going to be major tensions in the US, especially when they just apparently had some directive where the military can now target civilians and shoot to kill, which is a bit worrying. I can't confirm this today because I haven't done my own research, but I've checked out a few other documents online that I've seen and stuff. So I think it's real. I've no reason to doubt it as such, but it just seems a bit weird coming up to the election over there. So God, if things kick off in a major way over there with their population and civilians against the government and that kind of stuff, and it descends into absolute mayhem, then that's supposedly the the biggest free country in the world. Then it's going to spill over to the rest of the Western world, or at least some of it, I would imagine. And I'm wondering if that's where we're heading, but I hope not. But as preppers, we need to again keep our heads on a swivel, because when tensions are high and when we're all distracted about being angry with each other, that's when also other people take advantage. So it's coming up for Christmas, we've got shopping, there's going to be big crowds of people and everything else. I've said this before on videos, but I would just say from a prepping point of view, keep your wits about you, know who's around you and what's going on at every moment, please. That's all I'd say. Stack the odds in your favour. Don't be blindly walking around looking at your phone screen and not paying attention to what's going on around you. Anyway, I thought I'd just cover a couple of thoughts really. I'll be doing some more outdoor stuff. I'm a bit gutted about my drone footage being so grainy and rubbish, but that's what you get for a 79 quid drone. So I'm saving up for something much bigger, hopefully, but that'll take some time. I've got so many other things I'm trying to save up for as well. So anyway, but I will be doing some more outdoor videos. It's not cold enough yet to stop me. Anyway, so in the meantime, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks very much for watching, and stay prepared.